Here we go, connecting to the cloud. So my name is Sally Dymond. I'm a double diamond with a seer, and I'm excited to share with you tonight a special guest that I have ready and waiting for you. She is a world champion Ironman triathlete, and she's 74 years old. So she has a really, really cool, amazing story. But to start with, I'll just explain a little bit about who I am. Let me just see if I can get this screen to behave for me. Okay, oh, here we go. So my journey started, I'm 45, I don't know how old I am. But anyway, I was a swimmer and I just missed the Olympics in 1992 for Barcelona Olympics. And that led me on a journey of, first of all, health and then ill health, as I got sick with glandular fever, chronic fatigue, just missed the Olympics, and I kind of went into a downward spiral. That lasted for a little while, and it enabled me to discover my passion, I guess, which was healing people and getting into the alternative medicine space. So I was fortunate enough to become an acupuncturist, a remedial massage therapist. I've studied bioresonance and scanner, many different modalities over the last 28 years. And I've been fortunate to travel with many sporting teams. That's me there in the middle with the Australian race walking team in China, and they are gold medalists from Rio, actually. And that was them a couple of years before the Rio Olympics. I've also been lucky enough to travel with Venus and Serena Williams, Martina Navratilova, all the tennis players. So I spent 5 years on the circuit traveling with all those superstars, the female tennis players, that is. And that was a really, really cool highlight of my career, I guess, where I got to just mingle and mix with some of the best athletes and the best therapists that there are out there all over the world. So my schedule was 5 weeks on and 5 weeks off, and I did that for 5 years. So it was grueling on me and my body, but it was also one of the greatest things I ever did. When I came home, I spent 10 years in practice here back in Redcliffe in Australia, the body specialist. And just recently I've stopped practicing one-on-one with clients, because what I do with a seer now is so powerful, and I can do it globally, and I get to travel around and talk to people now and improve their health with these amazing products. So a bit like some of you might be, a little skeptical, a bit unsure of what you've been invited to tonight, and really just take a look, have an open mind, and just know that there's some really great, cool things out there that you're never going to hear about from your doctor, and you're probably never ever going to hear about it unless someone tells you to take a look at it. So someone's invited you here tonight, you should thank them, because what I'm about to share is incredible. It's a breakthrough in health and science, and it's certainly changed my life. It enabled me to go back to doing sport. You can see me there in a triathlon. I don't really train for these events anymore. I just use a lot of the product, and it enables me to have incredible endurance, stamina, and I don't get fatigued, I don't get sore or have any discomfort. And obviously my body has some muscle memory from training from way back, but it enabled me to have the energy, the motivation, and the desire to actually go back and do some crazy things. My husband and I there, you can see, rode the Great Ocean Road. It was a 3-day bike ride, 100 kilometres a day for 3 days straight. And we completed that with a great deal of ease and no discomfort or problems. So if you're out there looking for more energy or better sleep or better recovery, then you've certainly found it tonight. So I'm just going to run through a few basic things about redox, which is what we're talking about, and then we'll bring our guest into the space here. So what we're talking about is redox signaling molecules, and the products that we have here are a seer. So it comes in a liquid form, which comes in a bottle, and we drink it in 60 ml doses, and it comes also in a topical version, Renew 28, and that's what was initially attracted me, which was the gel. Increases our skin blood flow by 50%. So as a therapist, I want to be able to get the blood flow into that area that's injured or that's not, performing too well, and get that functioning. And one of the things that happens here at a cellular level, if I was to break you down into the systems of your body, you have many: musculoskeletal system, cardiovascular system, immune system, inflammatory system, in endocrine system. There's so many systems that make up you, but if we were to break those systems down, you then have the organs. So our cardiovascular system, we'll take our heart, and if we break the heart down, we have the tissues, then we have the cells, and then we have what we call redox signaling molecules, and that's the finite element in our cells. So our cells are small bags of salt water. We're made up of trillions of them. And in the process of what's happening there in our cell, we have our mitochondria, which is our power plant, produces ATP, which is our energy. And in the process of that happening, it spins off these redox signaling molecules. There's 16 of them, 8 paired, so 8 reductants and 8 oxidants. And their job is to fight free radicals, activate antioxidants, and to be our immune system communicator, attack viruses and bacteria. So if we were to break every system down, we essentially come back to our cell. So if we have healthy functioning cells in every system of the body, then that equals a healthy functioning tissue, organ, system, and you ultimately. So when you were to break someone down that's suffering from some kind of illness or problem, what happens is that we can break it down into organs, tissues, and it all comes back to the cells. So healthy functioning cells equals a healthy functioning you. And when you actually get this, then you get the mechanism of being well. So I was excited when I finally got off the skeptical fence, and let me tell you, I sat on it for a long time. I sat there for about 9 months kind of poo-pooing it and going, I don't really know. Is it really real? How can that one thing do so many things? But when you actually sit back and study redox signaling molecules, the science of redox, and there is a very large science, you'll start to understand that what we have with ASEA is unique because they were able to stabilize that redox structure outside the body so that we can now replenish our cells with it. So you can see there on pubmed.gov, we have tens of thousands of articles on the function of redox signaling molecules in relation to different conditions. And there's more than 12,000 textbooks, conferences around the world that are talking about it and explaining it in the medical arena. So these molecules are critical to every major system and function in the body. So when we look at this picture here, it has 4 main jobs at that cellular level. It helps to detect when there's a problem or there's inflammation or bacteria or virus or the immune system's not working. It then helps us to either replace that damaged cell or to repair it, and then ultimately protect that area from getting an infection or getting attacked by a virus or having another invader of inflammation or whatnot coming into the body. So that's called the self-mechanism, self-healing of the body, and we need it functioning on all systems of our body. If for some reason your inflammatory thing is not working within your body, then you've got inflammation. If for some reason your body's not able to detect and repair viruses, then you've got flooded with viruses. For some reason your immune system is kind of down and not working, then you're getting sick all the time. So if we have the ability to replenish that function within the body and put back those missing pieces, whichever one of those 4 is not working, when we add redox into our cells, that's what it's doing. It's completing that cycle so that we can detect, repair, replace, and protect. Most of us are pretty good at detecting. We've got signs and symptoms. If you were to ask, or if I was to ask you, how are you? I'd want to sit back with some people and kind of have a coffee, because for half an hour someone is going to tell me how they are, and it can go anything from I'm tired, my hormones don't work, I can't sleep, I got pain somewhere, I'm depressed, you know, the list can go on and on and on. So when you start to replenish, you have the ability within your body to start to repair all of these things when you get your cells actually working and functioning again. So how does ASEA do this? They take pristine salt water, the same that's found inside your cells. So if you were to think about everything that comes out of your body, it's of a saline nature. Your sweat and your tears primarily are all of that saline solution. If you were to think of the earth, it's also made of 70% salt water. So there's something magical happening here in that salt water negative ion thing that's going on out there. But what they've done is they've removed any chemicals or constitutions or anything that's going on in that water, and all that's left is sodium, chloride, hydrogen, and oxygen, and they actually remove and they break down those atoms, so they pull them all apart, and then they restructure them into the structure of a redox molecule. So if I was to line up on my table here several glasses of water, pool water, salt water, tap water, alkaline water, I don't know, whatever else, restructured water, you know, water from the supermarket, and you were to look at it with a microscope over the top of it, they would all look structurally different. So what we have here with ASEA is a restructured, stabilized composition of a redox signaling molecule structure. And we know that that's actually true because they have third-party laboratory now called Bioagilix that actually ascertains that the composition of the ASEA liquid is actually redox molecules, and they certify every single batch of products that are made. It's a super intense process. I think it takes about 3 to 5 days to make the solution. And the real breakthrough in science was that they were able to keep it in that stabilized structure. So it does not go back to salt and water. For decades, they've been trying to produce this because it's the essence of health, it's the essence of the cell, and to be able to mimic it so that we now have the opportunity to replenish our body with it is groundbreaking. It's exciting, and I think that, I know that Dr. Gary Samuelson, the guy that was able to do it, an atomic medical physicist, he will one day, I believe, win a Nobel Prize for it, because no other scientist in the world in decades has been able to achieve this task. And so now we have this structure. It's heavily patented, 34 international patents. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure you can't patent salt water. Another thing I like to always remind people is that I've been drinking this for 4 years consecutively, non-stop. I have not missed a day. And there's been some days where I drink a bottle a day when I'm doing these stupid activities and triathlons. And if you have been drinking salt water in the quantity that I have been drinking, I would probably be in the renal unit. And that's not exactly how it is. My life and my health is the best that it's ever been. Hey, Christina, I'm just going to mute you. So there we have it. That is how ASEA is made. So we're primarily talking about the athletic function here. And a lot of people ask me, is it safe for athletes? Because athletes aren't allowed to use any banned, they're always afraid of being tested. As a swimmer, I was tested 20 something years ago, and I remember being tested in the toilets of a dental block when I was going to have my teeth checked, and I was in the middle of training. And if they call you for a test, you have to provide that sample within 12 or 24 hours, I think it was. So that particular day, I was in the city having a dental appointment. They met me there, and I was tested in the public toilets of the dentist. So athletes are absolutely terrified because at any moment they can be tested. And I want to say that ASEA is completely safe for athletes. It's bio-native to your body. It is exactly what your body is making. We're not putting anything foreign into your body, and so you don't have to worry about it. But there's all these testings here, and I'm just going to flick through them fairly quickly because it shows here on the screen no prohibited substances detected. So we have anabolic steroids, diuretics, no opiates, no corticosteroids, no beta blockers, no stimulants. When you put it into the World Anti-Doping Agency and you search for redox signaling molecules, there is no result that comes up, and also nothing that comes up there for Renew 28. So you can be sure, and also nothing for ASEA. So they've just stabilized something that our body already makes, and we can replenish it. ASEA has a number of sponsored athletes, and you can see here just some of them. Xterra triathletes, a long distance runner. There is a website there where you can go on and read about these athletes. Michelle Salt is a Paralympic snowboarder, Bria Larson, Olympic swimmer, and Dexter Yates is the lady that we'll be hearing from tonight. And Cody Miller is also a Rio Olympic gold medalist. So you can be sure, and I know these swimmers are tested absolutely vigilantly, and they've been on this product for many, many years and absolutely swear by it for their recovery, their training, and their endurance. So just a few more there. Golfers, Paralympic skiers, lots of endurance athletes. So ASEA has done a number of studies and tests, and you'll find all of those studies on ASEAScience.com. This one here was done at the Appalachian State University in North Carolina, and what they were testing was they were testing the benefits of ASEA over a crossover randomized controlled study. Massive free fatty acid mobilization prior to exercise, and the highlight here is it allows athletes to exercise at a higher pace for longer. So that's really important in endurance races because it's not so much the race, but it's the training that they're doing every single day after day after day. And I was a 50-meter swimmer, and we were swimming for 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night, plus we were fitting in gym and running. So it's not so much the race that was, 20-something seconds. It was about what happens every day. And for athletes to be fine-tuned and in top condition to be able to do that, I wish I had this, because if I had it, I'm almost certain I would not have ended up sick and with glandular fever and chronic fatigue, which is quite common in athletes because they're actually working against their immune system and constantly burning and building up intense amounts of inflammation in their body. There's lots of talk at the moment going on about athletes' heart, and especially in these endurance athletes where they've got massive heart things going on, and it's just that constant inflammatory process that's going on. Another study here, an independent study on 2 weeks of ASEA, athletes experienced a large increase in their ventilatory threshold, the time it takes to hit the runner's wall, and it shows that increasing their running time before reaching their ventilatory threshold by an average of 12%. Some of the athletes had an increased power output and endurance by 30%. And that is a huge, huge benefit there that is 100% safe and approved. You've just escalated your body's own ability and your cellular function to do the process of what it's supposed to be doing, which is cleaning up, detecting, repairing, and, you know, not building up that inflammatory response there. This one shows the ASEA boosted the efficiency of superoxide dismutase by 500 and glutathione by 800%. So that's our own body's antioxidants. So if we can make our own body produce more antioxidants, it's much better than us taking a whole bunch of supplements that our body then has to try and recognize and then use. So every athlete will tell you that the biggest struggle that they have is actually in getting up the next day and just having that ability to recover. So that's the really exciting part about what we can offer athletes, is their ability to recover during their training. So what happens when we start to take it? Everyone reports this: better sleep, more energy, more stamina, less fatigue, improved health and wellness, increase in mental clarity, uplifting of mood, less discomfort, and old health issues disappear. So I recorded this interview with Dexter because she's asleep right now, and it's a really cool interview. So I'm going to play that, and you can just sit back and enjoy the interview. Hopefully my internet is running fast here because it was a bit slow. Here we go. Okay, thanks very much for joining us. We have Dexter Yates here from the States, and she is an ASEA-sponsored athlete, and I feel very honoured and privileged that she agreed to join us here this evening. Unfortunately for her time to do this live, it was 2:30 in the morning, so we're doing this at a respectable time for both of us. So we're going to start with a few questions for Dexter, and let's just enjoy her time with us, and hopefully this information is going to be useful for athletes from any age, from just the weekend warriors right up to the professional level athletes that are competing on that world arena, which is what Dexter is doing. So Dexter, if you could just describe a little bit about your life in the early days, because we have a competitor here that is not your average competitor. She is in an age group that is what my mum would be doing. And when I told my mum about this yesterday, she said, for goodness sake, don't ever ask me to do that. So the fact that Dexter is even doing this, and then you consider her age, is incredible. So, yeah, Dexter, maybe if you can share with us a little bit about life in the early days, and was triathlons a part of your life in the early days, or was it something that just happened later?
Well, I started, my parents owned a riding stable, so I started out as equestrian, riding horses in different horse events, and later on, I rode in what they called endurance rides, where it was 100-mile races on horseback, which got me kind of into the endurance frame of mind. And then when I heard about triathlon after my horse had retired, I thought, well, I can try that, and gave it a try and fell in love with the sport. And just for myself, I am not a fast person. I was not a natural born gifted athlete, but I discovered that I have the gift of endurance. And so I do the longer distance races, the Ironmans, half Ironmans. A full Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim, 112 miles on your bike, and then a 26.2 mile run after all of the other events. And of course, a half is half those distances. I found that being able to just keep going was my gift. I did several Ironmans back in the early 1990s. And then my job, my life, everything changed, and I wasn't able to compete in those races. So I kind of got a little bit heavy. And when I retired, I thought, I really want to do that again. I was a little bit overweight, and I came to Sean Burke's gym. He introduced me to ASEA, and I had tried to do an Ironman race and was unsuccessful. And when I came to his gym, I said, I need some help. And he said, well, let's put you on this product. And so the next race I did, which was the Boulder, Colorado race at altitude, and I had been on ASEA for about a month at that time. I actually did the race, won my age group, and qualified for the World Championship, which wow, all right, I'm onto this product at this point. So that's kind of a history of where I came from and how I got started on the product.
And what age were you when you came back to do that triathlon?
I was, I think, 65.
Okay. Wow. It's incredible.
Senior citizen.
Crazy. Okay. And so when Sean first suggested that you should try this product, did you have any hesitations or skepticisms, or like how did that kind of play out?
I thought, well, what have I got to lose? I'll give it a try. And, I just thought of something. I wasn't 65. I was 70. I don't even know how old I was. I was 70 when I got back into the sport. And I didn't have any hesitation because I trusted Sean, and I've seen his sports achievements and figured, well, maybe this is what I need. And as it turned out, I was having trouble doing the workouts necessary because for this type of a long distance race, you have to do those distances practically every week. You're doing 100-mile bike rides, you're doing, 2 and 3 mile swims, you're doing the, 15 to 20-mile runs, and you're doing this every single week. And the problems that I was having, I would do one of the workouts, I could get one done, but the next day I was not able to do anything. So I had to spend so much time just recovering. But once I had been on the ASEA product for a while, I was like, whoa, I feel great. The next morning I'd wake up after doing a 100-mile bike ride and say, oh, goody, I get to go swim 2 miles and run 10 today. And I anticipated and looked forward to it. I do take at least 1 day off a week because I think everybody needs a rest day. And another thing that I really have only discovered about the product, looking back over the history, because I've been on the product for 4 years now, is I also realize how much my immune system has improved. Doing a race or doing really hard workouts, I would find myself with a cold or the flu or just, body aches and not able to, participate because of illness. And I've recently discovered that my immune system has improved immensely. I used to always say, oh, it's recovery to recovery, recovery. But now I'm like, whoa, I think it's recovery and immune system for me personally. And as I said before, I was 70 when I started on the product, and I'll be 74 this year. And I'm looking forward to 5 big world-class races. 2 of them are world championship races. So I am totally devoted to this product.
It's amazing. I just got goosebumps everywhere. And when we talk about the immune system, I mean, my life as a swimmer, it ended my career because I got sick with glandular fever and chronic fatigue, and it's all to do with the system. So I know athletes out there, whether you're a weekend warrior or an athlete competing, it's that recovery and that struggle and that getting sick and the breakdown that's occurring on your body on every level. And that's one of the things that ASEA is amazing at. It's restoring those cells and allowing them to do their job, so we're not getting breakdown after breakdown on every level.
Absolutely.
So maybe let's just have a little chat about the dosages that you do take. So in a training phase and on race day, you know, what is it that you're using as far as the gel and the liquid, and how are you using that on your body and in your body?
Okay, I start every morning with one of these 8-ounce pouches. It's just standard every single morning. And I will drink one of those first thing in the morning when I get up. And then I will throw whatever I'm planning on doing for the day. I will throw a couple more, 1 or 2 more, whatever I'm going to be doing, into an ice chest and take with me so that I can have them between my workouts. Once I leave the house, I may be doing a swim, a bike, or a run, and usually it's 2 of those in combination. So in order to kind of refresh my body after one workout, I will have another 8 ounces. And there are days that I will do I work out at the gym 3 days a week. So on those days, I may have 3 actual exercises. I may work out at the gym and then go for a swim and a run or a bike ride, depending upon what I have on my agenda for that day. So on that day, then I will have, you know, at least 3 8 ounces, which is 24 ounces total. I know that if I am doing several workouts, having the extra in between workouts really helps me feel fresher for the second workout.
So how many hours a day are you actually working out?
It depends. Now, on Friday, I did a really hard bike ride. I need to get strength on my bike. So instead of just going out, I wanted to do 100 miles. And instead of just going out and finding a nice flat terrain, I chose a hill, and it's a 6-mile hill with a gradual incline, but it is steady climb for 6 miles. And I did repeats on that till I had 100 miles. So would have to say that that was 50 miles of uphill and 50 miles of downhill. So they were challenging, and the amount of time it took me was 8 hours. Now, I did stop in between, and I had one of my 8-ounce pouches of ASEA along with other food and so forth during the ride. So it was not a race pace by any stretch of the imagination. It was just a leisurely, let's just go uphill all day long until we feel strong. So,
and is most of your training done solo or with people?
Most of it ends up solo. I do train at the gym and do strength training, and I do that with other people. And the swim, of course, is in the pool at this point because our lake is still full of snow water and then very cold. But I'll be getting into the lake here shortly. So, but my running and my cycling is most of the time just by myself, so that I can get out and concentrate on what I need to concentrate on. And a lot of people love to ride, but they want to go somewhere, and I'll just do hill repeat because that gives me the strength. That's the best way to get stronger.
Wow, that's amazing. Incredible. So let's just talk about doping and maybe your achievements on the world scale. So I know last year you had an incredible year and you were crowned as the world champion, which is amazing achievement, and full credit to everything that you do and the person that you are, and everything that you do for ASEA is amazing. So maybe let's talk about being on that world stage in that arena. What comes with that is doping. It comes with, the stresses, obviously, of being the number one and keeping that crown. But we get asked a lot of questions about, is ASEA safe? Are there people using it that have been tested? And, it's always the top of mind fear of any athlete that looks at a product. Is it safe? Because they're very, very strict guidelines.
Absolutely. And that is one of the things that I love about this product is what it has done for me. And if you look at the ingredients, there's water and sodium chloride. That's all that's in here. And I could be tested at any time, at any event. And yet I know that it could happen at any time, especially at the international and the world championships, which I will be competing in 2 world championships this year. And at any time they can just, you know, tap you on the shoulder or give you a call and say, hey, we want to check you out. And I'm not the least bit concerned with the products. Now, I know that there are some Olympic athletes, and they also could be tested at any time. And they know that with the ingredients that are in ASEA, there's no problems whatsoever. It's absolutely clean as it could be. So that gives me the confidence. And, you know, I feel that when I'm out there, if, you know, at a race or, you know, around where I could be chosen to be tested, because it is random. And I have not been, but if I was, I would confidently give them my blood or my urine, whatever they want, because I know it's clean.
Awesome. So on race day, is your dosages different to how you would do it on a training day?
It is different. I usually, as soon as I get up in the morning, like I said, it's every single morning I have a pouch, and then I will usually take one with me to the start line, because by the time you get up and get to the race and get all of the things done that you have to do before the race starts, there's usually of hours or maybe even more. Some races have gone by, and I will have another one before the start of the race. In the half Ironman races, I'm kind of done at that point until afterwards, and then I'll take one so that my recovery will be good. But in the longer full Ironman races, I'll stick another pouch in my bags that you can pick up. They call them special needs bags, and you can pick it up halfway through the bike and again halfway through the run. You'll have them available. So I'll stick one in each of those bags to have it available to me halfway through, and just go out of the transition or out of the area where you pick them up with the pouch and be drinking some more. So race day, it really varies as to how much I get, but I get in as much as I will also put Renew in with my, because you're changing shoes between, you're putting shoes on when you start the bike, and then also change for the run, and I will have the Renew 28 in there and just give my legs a good rub down fast, but is you know, squirt as much as I can and rub it on and head on out onto the bike with the run.
And I know when you get off a bike and you try and run, it's a really uncomfortable feeling in your legs. So when I personally done triathlons, that's something I've done in transition, is I literally take the entire cap off, I squirt a huge blob, and on my wet, sweaty, it goes up and down. And I don't know for you, but for me, it's amazing. So maybe talk about what that feels like when you've done that on your legs.
Well, obviously, when you come out of the swim, you've been horizontal, and just getting upright again is a little bit disorienting. If you're swimming 2.4 miles, I'm usually out there for over an hour, and it's just like jumping up out of bed. You kind of like, oh, okay, here we go. And my legs are, they just need kind of a little boost, or, you know, it kind of helps me to get them oriented and feeling comfortable for running. Now the hard part, like you mentioned before, was getting off the bike, because I've been using my legs for, you know, 6-7 hours out on the bike course, and they're tired. You know, there's no doubt about it. And rubbing the Renew on sort of gives them a little renewal, if you will. And so, you know, rubbing it on, just, you know, I mean, I might waste a bit because I'm a little liberal and I'm in a hurry, so, but I just smear it on, and my arms too, just to kind of, you know, loosen up your shoulders for running and stuff too. So I don't put it on my face. I usually have sunscreen on, and I don't want to get sunburned, but I definitely get it where I can use it on the run. And then, of course, after the race is over, there's always another 8 ounces just to help me recover. And then I almost bathe in the Renew. It's just like everywhere. I have got it. I mean, you get chafed in places that you don't think you should be chafed, but you do get chafed there. And I put it on the chafing and the muscle for just the general recovery.
Wow, awesome. And for the Renew in your training, are you using the Renew before and after your training as well? How do you use that?
Yes, I do. Depending upon what I'm doing and where I am, I will put it on. If I'm doing a bike run, I'll just put it on my legs because I'm wearing the same clothes. But for after the swim, I use it, everywhere to just freshen my body up. Of course, I after the swim, you take a shower, so I get it everywhere, and then go out and do what I'm doing. But I don't usually put it on before I swim because I figure it's going to get washed right off. But I do use it in between most of my sports, and of course in the morning when I get up and the night before I go to bed. So yeah, I do use a lot of it.
Excellent. Well, it's clearly working because, you look absolutely amazing for someone who is, are you 74?
I'll be 74 this year. I am racing as a 74-year-old, and it's kind of exciting because next year I'll be one of the youngsters in my age group. And as a 74-year-old, I have noticed my age group is growing immensely. In the U.S., we have a group of people that were born about a year after me, after the war was over. They're called the baby boomers. And so it's like a population explosion in my age group. So how to move away from the baby boomers and in a new age group. So this year I'm racing is 74, and then next year I'll be with the 75 to 79-year-olds.
It's incredible. So Dexter was just sharing with me her schedule for this year. Maybe you can run down what it is you have in store for the rest of this year in the next 5 to 6 months, because most of us are sitting there on the treadmill of life just getting up and doing. And when you hear the incredible thing that Dexter is about to embark on, it made me sit up and go, wow, it's incredible that you can even imagine that you can do it, let alone go and do this. So what's in store for you for the next 5 months?
Oh, I am just beyond excited. I start the year in June, and I'm going to Ireland to do a full Ironman race. It's the first time they have had an Ironman race in Ireland, and so I'm very excited about that. Then in July, I go to Canada, where I will be doing a half Ironman in preparation for the World Championship half Ironman in Nice, France, which is the following month. And that is at the World Championship half Ironman is at the end of July. And no, I'm in Canada at the end of July. The 1st of September, I go to Nice, France for the Ironman 70.3, which is the half Ironman World Championship. And then 1 month later, I go to Kona, Hawaii for the full Ironman World Championship. And then a month later, just to kind of end the year, I go to Mexico to do another full Ironman. Just a little note here, for the World Championships, you have to qualify. And to qualify, it usually means you have to win your age group at another race. So I'm just thrilled that I was able to qualify for not one, but 2 World Championships this year. So it's going to be an exciting year.
It's amazing that your body can actually cope with the travel. I mean, most people travel to Ireland and they spend days complaining about jet lag and, in that story. But to get off a plane and have the endurance and stamina and the go to go and do that and then fly to another country and do it, I mean, that's an incredible testament to you, but also to what ASEA is doing in your body.
Yes.
And able to recover. So I often say to people, if you're flying, ASEA is amazing for that recovery. I no longer get jet lag, so to see someone of your age fly, not just do Ironmans and triathlons and compete, but to do them on a world level where you are flying all over is absolutely amazing. So
yes, I do carry the TSA size little bottles of ASEA on my carry-on, and I drink it during the flight. I have little I think it's 3-ounce bottles is the max you can carry for the TSA, and I have those.
And do you take several of them in your bag so you have more than one dose? Oh,
yes, because I'm taking a less, my body is used to the 8 ounces. So, and you can carry as many 3 ounces as can fit in that little baggie, and I stuff them in there. It's the only liquid that I take on the flight so that I can have plenty of it for the flight. So
that's
my suitcase is full of pouches, so as soon as I get off the plane.
Oh, I love it. And one of our final questions is, as an ASEA-sponsored athlete, what does that really mean? And how long have you been an ASEA-sponsored athlete?
I was first sponsored in 2015, and what it means is I get the product, which is a big help, and then I also get help with my entry and travel. So, as a sponsored athlete, that's a pretty amazing package, and it works well for me and allows me the ability to do these races. But with product, I knew I wouldn't be able to. So the product is just, it's golden for me.
So it's so great. And so people in your age group, are they looking at you and asking you, what are you doing? Or is it a bit of a secret where you're not really showing them and telling them?
Oh, no, they know I wear my ASEA kit. And that's another thing. I do get the kit, which is the outfit you wear when you're racing, and it's emblazoned with, I guess you can't see my shirt here, but it does say ASEA on it. And I wear that when I'm racing, and I wear it to be around but they have like a village, an athlete village, and I wear my ASEA stuff in the village. And then when I'm fortunate enough to get on the podium, I'm also wearing it. And yes, I do get asked, and I tell them, hey, this is my story. And wow, it's really amazing, because I know a lot of them are having trouble recovering. And a lot of them say, man, I just do one Ironman and I'm wiped out. I planned one for a year and that's it. And so I basically have, it's over a 6-month period, but most of the races are 4 and 5 weeks apart, the way it works out for the 5 races. So between June and November, I'm racing like every 5 weeks, and so the recovery is just amazing. And of course, like I said earlier, having the immune system boost has been really helpful too.
Yeah,
and it's clean, so you're good. How can you lose?
Absolutely. And I think it's getting the dosage right for your body. When people hear some of these dosages, they might be kind of going, well, that's a lot and that's a lot of money, but you have to sit and assess what it is you want to do and what state your body's in to get it to a level of either health or extreme. When you're doing extreme things like this, 8 hours of training a day, most people are sitting at a desk for 8 hours and tired. When you add the stress and the toll that's taking on your body, you really do need to replenish redox, and that's why you're able to do it. So,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I just often say to people, you have to assess, this really is the cheapest way to keep your car running, which is your body, so that you have, you're not paying for illness, and you're not paying for treatments, and you're not paying for the breakdown and how to fix that.
Yes, and when I started, though, I did start with the basic 2-ounce. And as I increased my dose and I was doing more and more training and so forth, it was not, I didn't start with the 8 ounces, and I would have to be going through. So just as a side note, as I did start with the 2 ounces, but that was 4 years ago. So
fantastic. Well, I think that's answered all of my questions. I'm sure there's probably other questions out there, but I really appreciate you taking the time and coming down to the gym and having them set you up on Zoom, because I know it's not easy today. You're good on a bike.
It's where Veronica, help me. But one thing is, it just might be of interest is I do have an Instagram account. If people wanted to see what I do on a daily basis, I try to post on that. And it's just under my name, Dexter Yates, on Instagram and also on Facebook. So it's kind of fun to see people or anybody else that is, following me, and they can see what actually does transpire in a day.
Yeah, and I love following you, and I got the chance to have a little run with Dexter in Utah, and
Yes.
it's so awesome just to have your presence at these events and be the shining light that you are, because you absolutely glow from the inside out. And to see that after you've probably been doing who knows what today. What have you been doing today? You've probably done a good 6 hours training.
Not quite that much yet, but the day's still young. It's the middle of the afternoon, so yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time, and I'm sure everyone on the webinar and watching the replays as well. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll talk to you again soon.
All righty.
I'll just stop this recording. So there we go. How cool is Dexter? Now there's a bunch of questions here. Let me just have a look because I could not read them. We have... You're a mighty machine, Dexter. Great to see you. Can't wait for you to come back to Mooloolaba. Incredible, incredible, incredible. So much love. Thank you, Sally and Dexter. Wow, 74. I'm starting to feel better. She's inspiring me to do more. Truly role model for all of us. A true inspiration. Unbelievable, really. Thank you, Dexter. All the best. Mind-blowing. There we go. What an inspiration. So she is really cool to talk to, and I had a great time interviewing her. So with ASEA, obviously there's a great income opportunity. I was never interested in that. If you're sitting here for the first time wondering what this is all about, when you have a great opportunity and a great product, it's a great thing to market. Everyone out there is tired. Everyone is sitting at a desk for 8 hours and tired. There's people out there trying to do events and triathlons and weekend warrior stuff, and they're all struggling. When you go to the Gold Coast Marathon, I don't know if any of you were there last weekend, but there were thousands of people, and some of them finish and some of them don't, and some of them end up quite sore and sorry for themselves and wanting to do PBs and can't. And this really is something that can help them just overcome some of that to get them to the next level. If you start sharing it with all of these people that you know, then ASEA actually pays you some income to get your product for free so that you can take more like Dexter does. And like we all can now. And the really cool thing is that with ASEA, they compensate you for the work that you do. You only get paid on what you share and what your people consume. You can then earn incentive trips and travel all over the world. I get to go and play and hang out with all these amazing people now all over the world. And there's many different ways that you can earn an income with ASEA, whether it's just retailing some product, whether it's sharing it and building a team, or whether you go out and build a global team. So my passion now is sharing it with as many people as I can. And I do that on Zoom, I do it on the phone, I do it on Facebook, I do it on the internet. I do it in person whenever I meet someone that's telling me their story of how they feel. And all you have to do is ask someone how they are, like I said in the beginning, and they'll certainly tell you. And you can then offer them a solution. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And our fearful leaders here, Charles Funky, the CEO, says, be grateful for what you have, work hard for what you don't, stop complaining, stop wishing, stop waiting, and start working. Start working on yourself, start working on your belief and your mindset and your health, and that actually transpires out to the people around you. And when you start to change, so do they. And the president of the company, Jaron Webb, is a great guy. Gratitude can turn a sinking ship, can brighten the darkest day, give purpose to the hopeless, peace to the tempest, and love to the hardest of hearts. If you're a skeptic and you're still sitting there going, is this for real? I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, it's for real. I sit on the medical board of ASEA now, and it is the most wonderful, amazing opportunity, not just for a business, but for your health and your family that you will ever come across. It's the only thing we use on our body and in our body. When anything happens, this is our go-to for all of it. So if you have kids, then start using it on your kids. You have three choices right now. You can consume it and just try it. If you do try it, I really recommend you try it for a minimum of 3 months. Don't just try and squirt a bit on and go, it's not like magic water that's just going to fix everything all in one hit. If you've been sick for quite a while, or you've been struggling with many health conditions on many systems, There's a rebuild process of detect, repair, replace, and heal that must go on. And in 3 months' time, you will definitely see a result. 90% of people will see a change. You might not see that change in what you set it out to be, as in to heal or cure or whatever those things are. We can't say that ASEA cures or heals anything, but I can say it goes in and it starts to repair your cells and gives you better function on all levels in all systems of your body. The second chance there you have is you open an account with ASEA. Once you do that, you get a wholesale account. You have an opportunity to make some income from ASEA if you choose, and you can now share it with everyone around you. When you start to improve, get energy, sleep better, why would you keep it a secret? So please go out there and tell people about it. And you have support of your upline, whoever that is. And your upline is always there to help tell the story of ASEA, or there's all these webinars that you now have access to. So there is a recording of this that will go on redoxdymonds.com, and you'll be able to share this as a link with people that weren't able to make it. The third option there is that you take this and run around the world with all of us, have fun in amazing locations, when you win reward trips, and just get to really experience the ASEA lifestyle, which is freedom, which is fun, it's time with your kids. I never thought it was possible, and now I'm actually living that dream, and it's amazing. So I want all of you to enjoy it, but we all start in the same box, number 1, and move to number 2, and some move to number 3. So it can take a process, and it doesn't all happen overnight, none of it. You have to be in it, you have to use it, you have to use enough of it consistently, and over time your life will change. So Virtus Norton, first we have a discovery. It's significantly impacting people's health. It's in a scientific community and a model that's very, very easy to duplicate. The bottom line is that you become part of a team, you get training, you have income, you have all the help you need if you choose to put your hand up. And Virtus Norton, our famous founder, he says we're all at the start of something big with great purpose, and right now is the moment we begin influencing the future. We can change the world. So that pretty much wraps up my presentation. Thanks everyone for joining us. Go the Maroons. I'm a Queenslander, so I don't really watch the football, but that's enough for me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and please go out there and share this link and share ASEA. It'll be the greatest thing you ever did. So have a great night, and we'll see you again soon.